All right, hey everybody, it's Drew from Flames of the Phoenix Tarot card, providing you with a general pick a card deck theme for today. So we have three different decks that you can choose from, and whichever one you resonate most with. This one here is the Rainbow Tarot. This one here is the Fortunes Unlocked, and this one here is the PAws Tarot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do each deck there and see what spirits have to say to us. So let's get this show on the road. Everything is read intuitively, so keep that in mind when you're doing that. You can also think of each deck for different reasons. So maybe one deck is relationship, one deck is career, one deck is what's going on in the week ahead. Again, it's up to you to see how you want to view these areas. These Rainbow Tarot cards, I just recently got them, so they're all nice and fresh there as well. So that's always cool to see what happens there. Let me do 1, 2, 3, and then we'll split them once more, see what happens, and let's see what's going to go on with this general reading for today. Yeah, I know. I play different songs when I'm doing this. Alright, this is what we have going on for today. Okay. So first off, I love the colors of this. I'm a rainbow fan personally, but again, I love how these look. So one of the first things I'm noticing is that there's some really good energy coming in. So for those of you who decided to select this, so again, please like, subscribe, share this post. So there's really good vibes first and foremost. With the changes and formations of what we do in our lives, one of the things that I always like and aspire to do is kind of see what change is going to mean to me or how is it going to resonate with me. So with the Three of Swords, look at there's the first thing I always see is the capturing of the middle sword. So maybe there's been some decisions that you've been having to make lately, and what you've been doing is saying, well, I have to make a decision. So if I pick one, what will that? How would that look? What would that look like for me? In this case here, you're selecting there. Take a look at some of the imagery in this card here. So look at how the different colors are and how they're resonating with you. There's pink, there's like a blue, teal, and then there's a gold in the center. So sometimes when I think of the Three of Swords, it's usually about change, transformation, growth, development, and how that looks for you. But in this case here, I like how the person is, grabbing the middle sword. And sometimes to me, I think of like the Olympics and how the middle space is like the first place or the gold medal. And I feel like when you're making your decisions here, are you choosing the first place gold decision making there, or are you just picking the one that is just easier to get to? Sometimes the hardest steps are the ones that we have to make in making decisions. And in this case here, with the Three of Swords, it's just telling me here right away that the decisions you're making are going to help you grow and develop. So making sure that you are choosing maybe a little bit of the more difficult challenge in order to get the bigger reward out of it. The Ten of Swords talks about how there's success in the learning. So with the Three of Swords here and the Ten of Swords, and again, you saw me shuffle them, so again, this is where the cards are coming out, and I'm reading cards intuitively. There's success at the end of the tunnel there. So there's a finish line there for you. There's definitely some good omen there. There's good energy, good vibes coming from it as well. So if you've been struggling to make a decision, I would say take the one that's a little bit harder because it's going to have the greater reward for you. So if you are struggling and you're saying, I have a couple of options, I don't know which one, the one that you're like, oof, this is going to take a little bit more work is probably going to be the better one for you to select and decide at this point. With the Four of Wands reversed, one of the things I always remind myself with the Four of Wands reversed is that when we look at the Four of Wands reversed, there's people there to support us in our journey. Are you using the right people? Are they jumping on the bandwagon a little for their convenience? And then that would be where my concerns are there. So are the people that are coming to you or the ones that you want to utilize, are they the right people to support you, guide you, nurture you, develop you? And keeping in mind too, and why I kind of like the imagery. So look at the Three of Swords. Person's grabbing the middle one. This one here, I know there's not there's not really a middle number for a middle wand per se, but this person is still striking the middle area. It's not grabbing the one from either end. So I think this is telling us as well is that if you are making decisions, it will reach a great ending for you. But the reality is that you need to kind of understand that there's going to be a little bit of legwork that's involved for you. Uh, today's also leg day for me. Hi-yo. So that'll always be fun. Last card we have here is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is reversed right now. So why I first off like that it's reversed, because usually if it's like this, it usually means information coming in, resources coming in. With it being reversed, a couple of things. Doesn't it look like a person to you? So there's a face there, there's a hand, and then the information. When the information is going out, it's kind of like it's going outwardly, but look at how it's kind of going inwardly in this place. So look at how the information is drawn into your core. So I feel like emotionally, this is something you've been deciding for a while, and it's something that has had great meaning to you. And I feel like you have been wanting to do these decisions for a while, but you haven't found the right time to do it. With the energy hitting its core there, it's almost like it's time that your heart is telling you, or your intuition is telling you, your gut is telling you, it's time to do it. So I honestly think for those of you who have chosen the Rainbow Tarot cards, this is the perfect time for you to make that decision. It does come with extra work. Again, I'm seeing that there is extra work, but the bounty, the outcome is totally worth it. So for those of you who chose the Rainbow Tarot cards, this is the end of the reading. Please like, subscribe, comment. I've been getting some great views and some great feedback from people as well, so please thank you for that. The next one is the Future Unfolding. So this is also a new deck that I got just recently. So I'm going to do a little quick shuffle here. 1, 2, 3, split. These are a little bit larger and in charger. Cards, Jesus, my goodness. Okay, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's see what spirits have to say for us. Again, it's a general reading for those of you who chose this. Let's see what the story has to say for us. Ooh. Oh, 3 of Swords coming out multiple already today. Interesting. Alright, let me just make sure they're all on screen for you. Well, it is interesting for those of you that watched the Rainbow Tarot. The 3 of Swords was reversed there as well as here. So, 3 of Swords was upright. So for those of you who are watching, that is always fascinating when that kind of stuff happens. So just by general view here, what I'm noticing is that there's a little bit of frustration. I'm getting guilt. I'm also getting people that are feeling exhausted. And that would be the other emotion I'm noticing here for those of you who had selected the Fortune Future cards here. A couple of things that I'm noticing as well is that it seems like the end is not in sight for you. And I get that. I get a little bit of emotional turmoil that's happening as well over here. The reason why I'm feeling that first off is that we have the 8 of Cups here. So the 8 of Cups here, it's like you're always going up a hill. And you're always feeling like there's a lot going on. And you're like, how much longer do I need to do this? And the days are starting to look the same to you. So look at there. So there's the moon and also the sun. And it's like you're not seeing the breaks, and you're not seeing how things are supposed to be separated, or how things are supposed to kind of be fluid. Also restless nights. So if you are overthinking things, you're getting too energized before you're going to bed, and you're like staying up and you're like looking at the ceiling and counting the imperfections of what's going on around you, or what's going on the walls as well. Again, sometimes that introspection or analysis paralysis can happen, and it does cause a lot of turmoil, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. So I just want to see what we can do to get you out of that. With the 3 of Swords reversed, it's talking about, are we actually obsessing on the right things, and maybe there's a lot of beauty that's happening around you. When I see the Three of Swords, especially in that kind of a location based on the reading I'm doing for you now, again, it's a general reading, it is intuitive. I feel like there's a little bit of inner frustration, and it's like you're almost struggling to learn something new, and you're just not catching on to it. One of my favorite feedback I always give people is, are you taking the necessary breaks? And what do those breaks look like to you? Because sometimes when we take breaks, it's like what other people would accept as a break, like, oh, take 10 minutes, go walk around, and then come back. But if that's not how you jive or how you learn, well, then it's not going to help anybody else out. With the Knight of Swords, it does talk about how you're going to grow, develop, how you're going to reach that end game. But at the same time, too, I feel like, and this is why I love the imagery of the cards, it's like the knight is racing towards helping you through this struggle, but it's not looking at the emotional component or the hardships that you're facing as well. So just keep that in mind, that with the Knight of Swords here, yes, it's helping, guiding, developing, learning, nurturing, but is it catching the right area or the right nuance or the right area that needs to be looked at even to begin with? Or is it looking at something that might pull that thread, and then you're going to kind of see how things start to break down? But then, is that what you want? Is that what you need? Is that how things are going to work better for you? And I think that would be the question I would be asking you, is that, yes, if I race to help you up the hill there, are you learning your lesson? Are you gaining what you need to gain? Are you learning what you need to learn? Or are you now just getting reset, meaning that, like, okay, well, it's going to happen again the same way, and you're not learning how to actually fix that result? The Page of Swords is an interesting spot here, because with the Page of Swords, again, it's like, la-ti-da, I can do anything I want to. And it's almost looking at your past self. So why I say that is that I feel like if you look at the grounding here, it's like you've reached the top of the hill, noticing how there's the yellow and the green, and then this one here is there's more steps to it. It's like, pardon me, validation. It's like you're hitting that top of the hill and you're looking back at yourself and saying, this is what I've done to succeed. However, you're also forgetting the emotional component. It's like, I did it, yeah, now let's move on to something else. Whereas, are you actually taking the time to reflect? Are you taking the time to understand what is happening and what has happened? And not only what has happened, but have you also looked at what the people that have supported you in that process? Because again, with the Page of Swords here and the Three of Swords reversed here, I'm almost concerned that you're still keeping the same people around you that might not actually be helping and causing further friction, further turmoil. I'm not getting good vibes with some of the people that are around you, to be very honest with you. So it needs to be something where you're doing like an inventory and just doing a check-in to see, is this the people that you really want? Or are these the people that you think you want and you actually need something a little bit more different? With the Three of Wands up here in the corner here, I do find it interesting that the Three of Swords and the Three of Wands are right beside each other. With the Three of Wands, it's a journey card. So look at there. There's a little bit of a bleak future, if you will. It's kind of like, ugh, do I really have to do that in order to get to the end game or get to the end result? And then with the Three of Wands, it also kind of tells us here that with the Page of Swords here, and that, are you actually taking stock of the people that are meant for you, to be around you, to support you, to guide you? Because if the future looks bleak, it might be that there's not the right person there helping you. And if they're not helping you, then are they creating a hindrance? So I was talking to somebody a couple days ago, and they were saying that they actually removed some people in their life, and it was hard for them to do it. But what was good was that they realized how necessary it was, because how they were reacting to situations was a little toxic, and it was because of the feedback that those people were providing him. And he was like, you know what, it's not serving me anymore, it's time to move on. And I know sometimes you gotta pick at the weeds in order for the flowers to bloom. So in this case, if you're that flower, sometimes you need to pick away the people that are not doing the proper service for you, and those are the ones that are causing the friction. So I feel like here with this journey card, and also looking forward and saying that it looks a little bleak, well, I get it. If the future looks bleak for you, then yeah, I would stop too and not want to, invest or connect with those people any further myself. So just take that in mind for those of you who are watching this area here and this particular reading with this deck. The final component is the Queen of Cups, and this tells me right away that the work you're doing is going to be aces and spades moving forward. So if you are taking in the feedback that I'm giving you today, for those of you following this general read, again, please like, subscribe, follow, comment. That always helps me out. But the Queen of Cups here is looking at the emotional baggage and how things have actually worked itself through. I'm also getting a lot of feminine energy. So if there is some friends around you that might identify as female or have, female energy vibes, maybe it's a good time for you to actually have that conversation with them and be like, I'm really struggling with this person and I just want to get some feedback. Maybe they know the person too, and maybe there's some just unknown information that needs to be worked around to help better understand and support what's going on. With the Queen of Cups, I do always like the imagery of the cards because look at here, it's a very fluid dress or robes that are being worn too. So it's saying that, the lessons that I'm learning might help me, and then the sacrifices gain outcome as well. So for those of you that might have that starting where, as I kind of gave you the analogy that the days and nights, everything's looking the same, there's exhaustion, deprivation there. And if you do rush into it, or if you don't take care of things, the outcome's not going to change. And that's why maybe the future does look bleak. But there is positivity to it. So for those of you that are thinking, oh my goodness, this sounds horrible. Well, no, if you do remove the weeds, then you're going to grow as a person. So take that understanding and know that there is some subtle things that you can do. Maybe it's conversations, journaling, and having that feedback to yourself to figure out that you are worthy of change. You are worthy of growth and development. You just need to be able to accept that there's some people that are in your life right now that are doing no service to you, and that's probably why there's a lot of problems in what you're dealing with. For those of you who chose this area, this deck of cards, we're going to close this one off and then move on to the PAws Tarot card. I've received a lot of great feedback actually with the PAws Tarot, so a lot of people enjoyed the PAws Tarot cards. So let's get out of here with PAws Tarot. I'll do my 3 shuffles. One, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Alright, Spirits, what's going on today? Again, this is a general reading. For those of you who have selected the PAws Tarot, let's see what the future has in store for you. Spirits, any guidance would be helpful. Wow, 3 of Wands again. Jeez. Okay. So for those of you who are joining just to do the PAws Tarot, welcome. So interesting here that we have the 3 of Wands reversed. So for those of you who are just watching the previous deck revealed, the 3 of Wands was upright and now it's reversed. So for those of you who are watching all 3 videos, hey, how's it going? Please take a moment to like, subscribe, share, comment on this. Also, too, I do read cards intuitively, so please keep that always in mind. The first thing I'm seeing is that there's a little bit of a different vibe here. There's a little bit of excitement, a little bit of energy, a little bit more, positive outcome in the mindset here. So I do like that. Let's see what's going on here. This is probably why. Look at this. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, right side by side. With the 3 of Pentacles reversed, it's almost like, are we good? And this is where the positive energy is coming in, is that maybe you've been taking stock of what relationships mean to you, what's going on in the home, heart, and the health of the world that you're living in. And are you happy? Because usually when we're doing this, it's more foundational growth. This would be more foundational growth, whereas this is like, you know what, it's time to shake things up, see what's happening. It's like DIY projects are going to start to happen. If you're like, oh dear Lord, no, this is not what I wanted to do. Again, it's maybe taking care of yourself, taking care of your own energy, looking at what it is that you want to do and how you do things a little bit differently. With the Three of Wands, it's a little bit of indecisiveness. So, maybe this is why there's some energy here, is that with the Three of Wands reversed and the Three of Pentacles reversed, it's like, it's time to shake things up. And for me, when I hear that, I get energized. Like, it's like, okay, I don't want to do the mundane. I don't want to be monotonous. What can I do to kind of keep things going, keep the energy flowing in what it is that I'm doing? And with these three side by side, especially three, I would say in the next 3 weeks, there's going to be some significant change. And it's good change. Sometimes people get a little bit fearful of change and like, oh, do I have to do this? It's like, well, yes, you do, because there's going to be some great outcome. Look at what's happening over here. So the Ace of Cups talks about how emotionally you're ready. This is a new change. Look at, there's even some like depositing of coin as a result. So it's like you're filling up your cup literally, and it's overflowing with the Ace of Cups. So that tells me right then and there's some good energy towards it. So the projects, the changes that you're doing, you are agreeable to it. So you are actually saying, you know what, this is things that I want to do, need to do, have to do. So I am actually going to give it my all. I don't think it's going to take long for transition, meaning that if you are in the process of doing some renovations, if you're looking at going on vacation, these things are going to happen very quick, and they're going to be very good for you as well. The Knight of Wands talks about the excitement behind the journey, and I think that's probably why I got some good vibes to it, because the Knight of Wands is looking towards the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Wands, and it's like, we've got this, we know what we need to do, we've got the energy, we've got the drive, we've got the motivation, and you know what, you've probably dealt with this before. So it's not like it's a net new issue or a net new problem that you're dealing with. It is actually something that you've had or dealt with in the past, and you're able to work with it before. With the Six of Swords at the bottom here, again, it is usually, this is like, if it's upright, it talks about how the lessons are very struggled, very exhausting, very just no good, just no good. When it's reversed, it's talking that you are actually in a good headspace. And it's kind of funny because I always notice that there's this little poisson, for those of you who are French, I love calling, or pescado, for those of you who have fish. But again, there's a little fish here in the corner, and it's latching on to this cat. But if it's looking upside down, it's almost like the fish wants to jump on the journey train. So I feel like there are some people that might be a little bit envious of you, and that the outcome is actually going to work so well, and it's going to be something that actually is so exciting that other people are going to be asking you for feedback. They're going to be like, how did you do this? I'm also getting like workout vibes. Like, for maybe some of you are, interested in going to the gym, or, just doing more health. Like the DIY project, to do it yourself, could also be going to the gym. And then this is where people are going to be like, how did you do that? Like, how did you get to that outcome? How did you get to where you're at today? And I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to be envious of you. And envious can be sometimes a little bit daunting, because when people are a bit envious, they tend to kind of treat you a little bit differently. And I think this is where the map making and understanding what's going on around you and how people are going to show up might need to be a little bit more aware of the circumstances and surroundings, because definitely the outcome down here is that there are going to be people who are envious of you. So if you are wanting to rock a new body, now's the time to do it. If you are trying to do some changes to yourself, eating habits, whatever this is, the steps you're taking today will amount to people being envious of you in the future. And again, you could just be like, I don't care, I'm just happy because I feel happy. And I think that's why there was some energy, some positivity, some good vibes for you. But just based on this reading here, for those of you who selected the PAws Tarot, again, please like, subscribe, share, comment. This tells me that, you know, in the next like 3 weeks, like it's going to be very quick turnaround, that people are going to notice just your energy, your vibe. You know, my background also tells me that, you know, it takes about 21 days ish to start to formulate a routine. So if you are trying to formulate a routine, you know, hopefully winter's over, can get outside, can be more energized, can go for walks, or just doing things a little bit differently. Now's the time to start that routine, that new behavior, because with this new behavior, there's a lot of people that I'm getting the vibe for. Like even up here, there's, you know, it's just I'm getting vibes that there's a lot of people that want to relish or understand or see how you did things maybe a little bit differently because they've been struggling and you have not been. And then that's probably why the success is right there. So that does it for those of you who are watching this particular reading. Again, it was a pick a theme reading. Please like, subscribe, share, comment on this. Again, spirits are totally telling me that for those of you that are looking to do a change, now's the time to do it. It's going to take about 3 weeks to start to get yourself into that change. That's where the threes are coming in. But it's definitely telling me that those of you who are excited, wanting to do it, now's the time to jump on the ship and see what happens. That does it for me. For those of you who are watching, thank you so much, and I will chat with you soon. Bye for now.